The boat creaked when Marta shifted her weight to the left side. Lake Vallen stretched before her like a slab of black glass. No ripples, no reflections, though the moon hung directly overhead. That was the first thing that struck her as wrong. The second was the silence. Complete surgical silence, with no frogs, no crickets, no rustling reeds. "Erik?" she called. Her voice dropped into the darkness and never came back as an echo. Erik had gone to check the fishing lines 20 minutes ago. He said he'd be over by those rocks. Marta could see their silhouettes about 30 meters away, and that he'd be back in 5 minutes. 20 passed, then 30, then she stopped counting. They had come to Vallen because of fish, more precisely, because of a bet. Erik insisted that this lake held eels as long as a human arm, while Marta laughed and told him he'd been spending too much time on fishing forums. The lake sat 4 hours from Stockholm, deep in the kind of forest that tourists never reached. Only a narrow dirt road, pine trees, moss, and this motionless, dark body of water. The local farmer they'd asked for directions had looked at them as though they'd asked him to show them the entrance to hell. "You don't go to Vallen at night," he said in Swedish, slowly, as if speaking to children. "Why not?" Erik asked, smiling. The farmer didn't answer. He simply closed the door. Marta picked up the lantern and shone it toward the rocks. The beam caught smooth water, dark, moss-covered boulders. No Erik. Only one of his fishing rods leaning against a stone at a strange angle, as though it had been thrown down, not set there. "Erik, stop fooling around." She didn't believe he was fooling around. She said it because she wanted to believe it. Marta rowed slowly toward the rocks. The oars entered the water without a sound. No splash, no gurgle. And that was wrong, physically impossible. But she told herself she was simply too frightened to hear properly. When the boat nudged the rock, she saw the blood. Not much, a dark stain on the wet stone the size of a palm. And beside it, a print. Not a boot, something long and multi-fingered, like the track of an enormous hand with too many fingers. Marta counted 7 before nausea hit her. She grabbed Erik's fishing rod, then dropped it, because the water beside the boat moved. It was like watching a large stone rise from the bottom, a slow, heavy displacement that sent rings spreading outward. But stones don't rise on their own, and stones don't breathe. This thing breathed. Marta could hear something beneath the surface, releasing air in long, methodical exhalations, as though it were counting. She threw herself at the oars. The boat lurched away from the rocks, and in that moment, the lantern swung and briefly lit the water beneath the hull, deep enough to see nothing, but not dark enough to conceal what was swimming directly below her. Pale, long, very long. It had nothing about it that resembled a fish or an eel. It moved like a human, arms and legs, except there were too many limbs, and they bent in the wrong places. Its head was tilted upward, and Marta saw the face. Absolutely white, no nose, with 3 horizontal slits where the eyes should have been. The slits were open. It was looking up at her. Marta screamed and threw herself against the oars with such force she nearly capsized the boat. The shore was far, too far, but she rowed without calculating distance, without thinking about anything except that white face beneath the water and the 7 fingers pressed into the stone. Erik beat through her mind. Erik, Erik, Erik. She reached the shore. She jumped from the boat into the shallows, feeling nothing of the cold, and ran for the car. The keys were in her pocket. She remembered this, repeated it to herself as she sprinted across the wet grass. Keys in pocket, car on the road, engine will start, she'll drive away, she'll call the police, The car was where they had left it. And standing beside the car was Erik. Marta stopped so sharply she fell to her knees. "Erik!" she laughed, gasping. "God, I thought—" He turned around. He moved correctly, completely correctly. Erik's movement, Erik's posture, Erik's tilt of the head. His face was in shadow, but when Marta stepped forward, the lantern swayed in her hand and lit him up. The face was Erik's, almost. The eyes were set slightly wider than they should have been, and there were more than two. Marta didn't have time to count exactly how many, because it stepped toward her faster than she could step back. A hand, correct-looking, five-fingered, seized her by the wrist, and the grip was cold, wet, utterly inhuman in its strength. She pulled, she screamed. The lantern fell and shattered. In the darkness, it said something in her own voice. Police officers from Östersund found the car 3 days later. One of the locals reported an abandoned vehicle near Lake Vallen. The car was locked. The keys lay on the driver's seat. Both phones were inside. On the shore, they found the boat and 2 sets of footprints leading to the water. Both sets walked into the lake. Neither came back. Investigator Bjorn Hallberg photographed the tracks and noted something unusual in the report. Closer to the waterline, the stride pattern of both individuals became irregular, uneven, as though the people had been walking because something was guiding them, or because they were no longer entirely people. The case was closed 6 months later. No bodies were recovered. Lake Vallen lay quiet and black, as it always had. No ripples, no reflections. Only sometimes, on windless nights, when the moon hung directly above the water, bubbles rose to the surface, slowly, methodically, as though something was counting.